and pray is the idea of prophetic words. You would realize that when it has to do with yearly prophetic words, we have different views across the body of Christ. There are people who generally believe that prophetic words are not needed. In fact, others may stretch it to believe that is absolute nonsense. And based on how they explain it, they might be very right and correct from their perspective. But then I wrote something down here. I read it on Friday, and I want to read it here. I want you to listen very carefully. I wrote here that yearly prophetic words can become a mere ritual that has no life and no power in it. That it is true, a possibility exists that prophetic words year in, year out can become a mere ritual, just a church or a denominational ritual that does not have any life or power in it. I further wrote here that knowing the Lord, growing in grace, and accessing all the tools allocated for an effective Christian life has nothing to do with a new year or a prophetic word. That means growing in grace, knowing the Lord, growing in grace, and accessing all the tools allocated for an effective Christian life has nothing to do with a new year or a prophetic word. That means as far as knowing the Lord is concerned, growing in grace and accessing the mysteries, the keys of the kingdom that makes for an excelling life, whether it is January, whether it is November, whether it is December, the moment light comes, it has the ability to lift you up. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with a new year or the end of the year. You get what I'm trying to say now? We grow and are established in this kingdom every time we access the knowledge of the truth. But I did say then, and I'll repeat it here, that however, in spite of the aforementioned, God is and remains a God of times and seasons. I'm giving you a scriptural basis for the prophetic word, that God is a God of times and seasons. Inasmuch as he does not dwell in time, but he carved out time and separated it into three dimensions: past, present, future, to be able to help man relate with him. So everything God does with respect to man, he does it in time. Are we together now? Including his mercy, he tied his mercy to time. So God is a God of times and seasons. His workings on earth and in the life of the believer, I wrote here, also subscribes to the law of times and seasons. This is true. When Jesus Christ walked upon the earth as God incarnate, he did not violate the law of time and season. From his coming as a baby in the womb of Mary, he stayed patiently to subscribe to the law of time and season. Jesus was not born an adult, he was born a baby. Is that true? And the Bible records, according to Luke chapter 2 and verse 52, that Jesus increased. That means he grew with time. The Bible is not ashamed to show us baby Jesus, teenager Jesus at age 12, learning. Is that true? Adult Jesus at age 30. These are all functions of time. And Jesus himself said, I must walk the works of him that sent me while it is day. He added timing even to his assignment. When Jesus went to the cross and died, it was a function of time. After 3 days, he came back to life. So it is not unscriptural when God guides people within the frame of times and seasons. Yearly prophetic words reveal God's emphasis to us per season and per time. Listen very carefully. Yearly prophetic words are platforms for God to reveal his emphasis. God is not doing the same thing all the time. He has emphasis per season and per moment. And yearly prophetic words afford us the opportunity to hear from God and to know what God is doing per season. It also helps us to know the roles that we have to play as far as partnership with God is concerned. It helps us to know the role that we have to play as far as our partnership with God is concerned. And then it also tells us the blessings that come as a result of discernment and alignment. This is very powerful. So when we open up our hearts to yearly prophetic words as believers, and more so as a global family of faith, we accept this to mean that God is doing something within this season with us. Are we together now? And we seek to find out his emphasis within this moment, to find out the role that we have to play, the participatory role that we have to play, alongside the blessing that has been allotted for the season. It's very, very important.